We see you getting after your fitness goals. But what about those money goals? You can count on Credit Karma for a clear view of your finances and your progress, helping you see results so you can keep checking off those financial personal bests and find your way to money. Progress never felt so good. Download the Intuit Credit Karma app and start achieving your money goals today. Intuit Credit Karma. Karma you can count on.
Hey everybody, it's Jax here with Jax and Brittany Take. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I messed up already. Okay. Hey everybody, it's Jax Taylor. When reality hits with Jax and Brittany, we are back. Okay, it's going to be just me this week. First of all, I just want to say thank you to so many of you out there that reached out to me personally over the Instagram, the DMs, the comment sections. I've been really reading all of your messages, and it's been really, really amazing to see how many of you have, shared your struggles, your personal struggles, your mental health battles. It's really made me feel not only supported, but seen by so many of you guys. And I don't think I've ever really realized how many people have, similar battles. When you deal with mental health issues daily, it can be, like a very lonely place at times, where you feel so, misunderstood, confused, alone, and there's so many times you question yourself, am I crazy? Like, what's going on? Like, I just, you can't handle life sometimes. What's wrong with me? It's just very, very tough. I've had some really dark moments and a lot that I've kept to myself over the years. So I'm finally able to, speak openly on things and understand myself a little more. And it's really been very freeing in a way. And, thanks to this podcast and everything, I can kind of reach out to people and kind of hear back from everybody else as well. So anyway, I just want to say thank you so much for all your kind messages and sharing your personal stories with me. I've been getting so many questions from people over the past few weeks. So I wanted to dedicate this episode to you guys. So many of you have been written in, and I'm going to answer as many questions as I can here. So here it goes. Bear with me again. It's just me today, and I really, really appreciate you guys and all your support. And let's get going. Okay. So here we go with some of your guys' questions. So the first one. How was it being reunited? Sorry, I'm starting again. How was it being reunited with Cruz after leaving the facility? And this is from Diane Schatz. I gotta say, it was the highlights of this whole thing. It was my end goal. It was kind of like the Super Bowl. It was gosh, I had so many emotions. I cried my eyes out because I was kind of in fear that he wasn't going to remember me. I mean, everyone's saying, your son's going to remember you, your son's going to remember you. But, when he came running, to me, it was, I can't even tell you the emotions I had. I was just crying, and he was just so happy to see me. And he let go of our nanny's hand, and he ran right up to me. And it was just the most beautiful thing ever. So yeah, that answers that. And I literally didn't let go of him for a very long time. He was he was connected to my hip there for the full day. So yeah, it was very, very amazing. And it was very, emotional, a lot of tears on my end, but he's just doing so well, and I'm just so proud of him. So there's that. I hope that answers that okay. So what does a typical day look like when you wake up? So I guess this question is for what was a typical day of my typical day when I was in the facility. So I would wake up at 7:45. I would have a cup of coffee. I would have a protein shake. I would take my medication. I would then, take one of the nurses, or she would take me to the gym. I was allowed to leave to go to the gym for 1 hour, 2 hours a day. Then I would get back, take a shower, and then I would be in therapy for 3 to 4 hours. 3 to 4 hours with there would be a lunch break in there in between. And then after that, we would take a little bit of a break, and then I would either go back to the gym, or I would take a nap, or I would go right back into therapy. So on average, every day it was 7 hours of therapy. Sometimes it was, 3 hours here and 4 hours there, or 3 hours here. And, it really kind of, it varied, but 7 hours every day I had therapy, in that. It was really, really intense. I was meeting with doctors, different therapists, going over different just different things that are going on in my life. My drug of choice is anger, and it's one of those things where other people got to leave their drug at the door, where unfortunately I brought mine in with me, because obviously you can't leave anger at the door. So it was tough. It was tough, talking through these things, being emotional, letting my guard down, being vulnerable, kind of digging into my past, talking to you know, complete strangers about my life, and kind of, I was a little bit of embarrassed sometimes, because, these are things that as a 45-year-old man are embarrassing to me. And in the beginning, I was very, I guess, guarded. But it took me at least about a week or so for me to like kind of let my guard down and kind of really, really open up. And it was an amazing experience. At some point, I would like to do another stay. You know, at a facility, or another one, like maybe in a different state. But I really got a lot out of this. Like I said, it's something that I really needed to do, and I'm sad that I took this long to do it, because Brittany has been asking me to, you know, do something like this for a very long time. And it's just, I come from a background where we really don't ask for help. The men in my family just really never asked for help. And it wasn't my father's fault. It wasn't my grandfather's fault. It's just, we were never brought up to ask for help. And I'm hoping that I can break that cycle now with my son. If he needs help, that he can ask. So that's kind of what I got out of this. And it was an amazing run. So my next question is, do you think reality TV made marriage harder? That is a tough question. And this is from KT Loca. KT Loca. Do I think reality TV made marriage harder? I'm going to say yes and no. I'd be, it'd be silly to say it doesn't make it harder, because obviously you're in the public eye. So, you're not only getting pressure from your family and your peers, but you're getting pressure from the outside world too, from, whatever's going on in your life. Everybody's got something to say. Everybody out there is living in a perfect marriage, and they love to, put their 2 cents in. So, yes, it is harder, but I feel like if you have a strong marriage and, I guess, a strong support system, you can get through it. But it does make it harder. I'm not going to sit here and say it doesn't. It does. It does. But you know, you just got to really work at it. You got to go to therapy. You got to take time for one another. You got to do date nights. You got to not lose the romance. You got to not feed into the public. You got to feed into social media and the comment sections. You got to stay away from that. And that's, I think, what killed my marriage. If I had to say, what killed my marriage the most, I think I took Brittany for granted a lot of the times. I think I was given a lot of wiggle room with my behavior. I think, I've been doing I've had this anger for a very, very long time. As long as I can remember, I've been a very angry person since I was a kid. So, but I think during our marriage, I was never held accountable for my actions. I was never given any consequences. It's always like, oh, it's just Jax, he'll get over it. Oh, it's just, he'll get over it. Or, he won't be like this forever. I was never given any like, listen, if you don't stop this, I'm going to leave you, until, Brittany had enough. I've never really had anybody hold me accountable for my actions and tell me like, listen, you need to go somewhere. So I think, after 9 years of putting Brittany through the ringer, she kindly had enough, and I kind of had no choice. That's kind of, where I stand with how marriage is on reality TV. It can go one way or the other. You have to really work hard, extra harder on your marriage when you're on reality TV, if that answers the question. I know I took the long route on that, but I hope that answers that question. What are some of your goals that you have set for yourself in the next few years? That is a great question. And this is from Christine, Rosee. It's for me, it's one day at a time, 1 minute at a time, 1 hour at a time. I don't think setting goals is future goals. I mean, this is a tough question, because when you set goals, sometimes you can set yourself up for failure. So I'm very one day at a time. Right now, I just moved into my new place. I'm taking better care of my health. I'm trying to stay on a structured routine. I'm trying to make a lot of time for my son. I'm trying to you know create other jobs. I'm trying to focus on my bar and my podcast, and possibly another podcast that I'd like to get into regarding mental health. I'm just trying to stay focused, and I'm just trying to, I guess they say, keep my side of the street clean. And that's, my goal right now. I try to, read all my journals that I written over while I was in the facility, and just try to stay focused. Setting goals right now, it's just I'm not there yet. I think in time I will be, but right now I'm just kind of focused one day at a time. And when I kind of build myself up a little bit better, then I'll start setting some goals. But right now it's just one day at a time and making sure that I'm okay for my son. Okay, the next question. Who are the key people in your life who you feel you can go to for support? I hope you have some key people in your life that you feel you can trust. That's a great question too. Living in LA, and it's tough to have good friends that you can trust. I have a lot. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Who are the key people in your life who you feel you can go to for support? I hope you have some key people in your life that you feel you can trust. Um, I have a few people that I can trust. I hate to say that I only have a few. I have a lot of acquaintances. LA is kind of the home of a lot of acquaintances, and it's really hard to find good people that will be in your life for you, because out here everybody's clawing to the top and everybody has ulterior motives. And where I'm from in the Midwest, the people's morals are a little bit different than they are here. So I have a handful. I have some people that I work with on my team. I have my sister, and I have a couple buddies that I can go to for support when I need it. But it's slim pickings. I hate to say that, but it's one of those things where you just got to keep your circle small, and just focus. I focus on myself and with my therapist. So that's about it for that one. Next one. Are you still living in the Valley? Did you move out? Yes, I finally moved out. About 2 weeks ago, I got myself a townhouse. Now, this has been, everyone keeps saying, do I live with Tom Schwartz? I do not live with Tom Schwartz. He has a townhouse that is next to mine, but they are completely separate. We have our own building, but we do not live together. But yes, I did move out. I thought it was a good move for me to, you know, get my own place, because it wasn't fair for Brittany to keep getting these Airbnbs, and she wasn't sure where she was going to go. And plus, I just didn't want my son to be bouncing around to all these places. It didn't seem right. They weren't his home. It wasn't his house. It wasn't his pool. It wasn't his bedroom. So while I was in the facility, I took it upon myself to, find a townhouse that is absolutely beautiful, brand new, very secure, updated, remodeled. It's super safe for crews. I wanted something that would be very, very safe for crews. She will be like, okay, wow, this place is absolutely beautiful. It's secure. It's brand new. And yes, I know I live next to Tom Schwartz, but he is my best friend at the end of the day. And if I need help with something, if I need help with crews, he's right there. I have a couple other buddies that live down the street. I know everyone's thinking like, oh my gosh, they're just going to get crazy partying life. That's not true. We are all older now. We all have different, ideas in life, and I think we have a good support system here, and I really like it. Tom has gone through a divorce, so he kind of helps me get through this. So yeah, to answer your question, I did move out. I've been now here, I would say 3 weeks. Finally got internet. That took me a while, but the building's absolutely beautiful. I'm really happy here, and I honestly can't wait for Brittany to see this place. I know it's going to take time for her to come here, but I really can't wait for her to see it. And Cruz's room is absolutely beautiful. Thanks to my team for helping me out and do that, and thanks to some of the companies that helped me out, like Wayfair and I can't think of something else. Wayfair. I'm sorry, Mixed Tiles made his room just absolutely beautiful. So yeah. So next question. Are you living with Schwartz? So that I kind of answered that question in the last one. He is living in this vicinity, but we each have our own townhouses. We are not living together. Let's make that very, very clear. But like I said, he is my best friend. And having your best friend who's gone through a divorce and we're the same age, it really, really helps. I've been with my wife for 10 years and now I'm alone. So having my best friend nearby is very, very helpful. And he's gone through what I've gone through. He's, a year ahead of me in this game, 2 years ahead of me in this game. So it helps having him here. And he loves Cruz. And when Cruz gets to come over here, he's going to, love hanging out with his Uncle Tom. Saw your I'm sorry. Saw you got a tattoo. Are you going to get more? Corinne Casali. Yes, I am actually. It's kind of my midlife crisis thing right now. A lot of people go buy cars or buy motorcycles or get ear piercings or shave their heads or do whatever. Mine is tattoos. I really, really enjoy tattoos. I've wanted to get more in the past. I just, life got in the way and I didn't have time. And so, yeah. And each one of my tattoos means something. I obviously struggle big time with mental health. So each one of my tattoos symbolizes mental health in some fashion. So yes, I'm actually going to get my next tattoo on Monday. I'm doing the other arm, completing the other arm. And actually, the next tattoo is going to be, I think it's the Archangel Michael. I think that's his name, or not. I think it's Michael the Archangel. Michael the Archangel, which is kind of who overlooks you, when you're confronting the good and the bad. So, yes, I am going to keep getting more. I love tattoos. All right. Next question. What did you think of Raquel making a statement about you? This is coming from @PWXO. Now, I heard about this while I was in treatment. I got an email from my manager about this. I'm just going to make this very clear. I've talked to Raquel maybe 3 to 4 times in my entire life. And each time I've talked to her, it was hi or bye. It was no more than 3 to 4 words each time. I don't know her from Adam. I still don't know to this date what she said about me. I can look it up if I want to, but I don't really care. I'm not looking for any kind of validation from her. I honestly wish her the best, and that's basically all. I don't know her. I don't really know what she's going through right now. I obviously know what happened with the Scandal situation, but I really don't, you know, yeah, research what she does, research her podcast, or listen to her podcast, or listen to anything she says, to be honest. And that's not just a dig at her. It's just I have other things to do in my life. So, like I said, I talked to Raquel 3 to 4 times in my life, and it's been no more than 3 to 4 words. So I just want to get that very clear because people ask me this question all the time, and I don't know her. So that's it for that. If you could take back any one thing in the past, what would it be? Wow. I don't. Geez, how do you answer this question? This is from LYSSA Lisa Hasato. Lisa Hasato. If I could take back any one thing in the past, what would that be? There's a lot that I would take back, to be honest. But obviously, everyone's going to want to say the situation I had with that other girl before Brittany and I were married. The cheating scandal. Obviously, that was bad. Um, I would have liked to stay engaged a little longer. I wish we didn't rush our wedding as fast as we did. I wish we would have took a little more time on that. I wish, I wish I would have not rushed my relationship with Brittany so quickly. I think the fact that I rushed it so fast because she moved here from Kentucky, I think things moved a little quicker than they should have. I don't think that we got to know each other as well as we should have in the beginning. Now, that being said, we've been together 10 years and we know everything about each other. But if you're asking me to go back, what would I have done different? That was what I would have done different. I don't think I would have just probably asked her to move in so quickly. I would have tried to been girlfriend and boyfriend a little bit longer. I think, maybe that was one of my downfalls, that I rushed everything so quickly. Obviously, my anger got in the way. My ego got in the way of a lot of things. My what's the word I'm looking for? I was very aggressive. I was very entitled. I had such entitlement. There's a lot of things I wish I could take back, especially now that I can reflect and look back, and especially after being in the facility, I can look back and be like, okay, this is what I did wrong, and I can look back and like, well, this happened because this, and this happened because of that. Now, if I wouldn't have done this, then this wouldn't have happened. So, I mean, it's easier to say, yes, I wish I'd take all these things away, but these are all mistakes that I made, and I'm learning from them. But those are the things. I know that's probably going to surprise a lot of people, but yeah, I wish I would have really have gotten to know Brittany as a girlfriend, boyfriend quicker or a little bit slower than just rushing into our relationship. I think that maybe have taken a little bit of a toll on us too. So I know that's no one's really ever asked me that question before. So I think now looking back after being in the facility, that's kind of where I stand with that. Yeah. Okay. How will you and Brittany share the podcast now? This is coming from Ash Johnson, 1904. So right now we are doing 1 week on and 1 week off. And right now this is working for us. My goal, and I'm probably getting way, way, way ahead of myself. My goal is for us to come back and do this together. I want to be a divorce success story. I want to go on and talk about marriage, talk about divorce, talk about separation, because the whole world is going through things that I'm going through. Everybody in this world is going through, crazy things, divorce, separation, losing a partner, whatever. And I feel like Brittany and I, at some point, could possibly come together and talk about where it went wrong, what we did wrong, what we did right, what would we change, and hopefully, change people's opinions of marriage or divorce or whatever. But are you still continuing therapy? Yes, I am. I'm seeing a life coach, which he was on my podcast last week. His name is Scott. And I'm also talking to my therapist, who I was speaking to within the facility. Her name was Tracy, who was just an amazing, amazing person. I've gone through different therapists in the past. As you guys know, about 8 years ago, I decided to see a therapist after everybody was trying to make me go, and I was anti-therapy. And then I finally found a woman, and this woman decided to out me at a bar one night. And it just so happens, just as goes to show you how small the world is, this therapist who I was seeing, who I was letting my guard down, who I was being very vulnerable to, was sitting at a bar in Hollywood. And it just so happens that Kristen Doty and Carmen, if some of you guys remember who Carmen was, my ex-girlfriend, was sitting at the bar too. And this woman was telling everybody that she was Jax Taylor's therapist, and she was just going in on my life. And how I found this out was as I was with Tom Sandoval and Tom Schwartz in Australia. We were doing a tour there, like we do appearances. I literally got off the plane, jet lagged as hell. I get 5 to 6 missed calls from Kristen Doty, which I thought was the weirdest thing, because I was like, well, I haven't really talked. Why is she calling me? She knows where I'm at. And I finally call her, and she tells me, Jax, your therapist was at a bar, wasted, getting drunk, telling everybody about your life. So long story short, obviously I didn't see a therapist for a long time after that. After letting my guard down, finally seeing a therapist, then this happens to me. You can understand why I didn't want to go back to therapy for a long time. So jump to about 8 years later, it was time to see a therapist. It was time to give therapy a second chance. That what I went through was a very, very unusual situation, but it did happen, and it did give me a little PTSD. So anyway, obviously in the treatment, there were multiple therapists, and I really connected with Tracy. There was some males and there was some females. I wanted to go the male route. I really did. I started off with a male, and I just thought, for me, after going through what I went through, I just thought a male kind of knows another male pretty well. Not that women don't know men. I just think that a man knows what another man is going through and why he does certain things. And I personally think women see men, they see them very well, but they want to see them how they want to see them and not how we are, if that makes any sense. So I connected with a man for a little bit. He ended up leaving, and then I went to Tracy. And like I said, she's absolutely amazing. And what I love about Tracy is she is not just a teacher. She is a person that struggled. It's nice to talk to somebody that's gone through exactly what I'm gone through. You're not dealing with a therapist who went to Harvard and is reading all these books on psychology and just reading out of the books and trying to tell you what things are. It's so much better to talk to somebody who's actually gone through what I've gone through and has beat it and it has tools to give me. And that's what I found with Tracy. So yes, I am continuing therapy. I'm actually going to find another therapist very soon. I'm looking for another one because I'm really getting addicted to therapy. And I kind of like it, to be honest. It kind of just, it sets my week up. So, are you scared of being diagnosed with bipolar? Have bipolar and mixed emotion. I'm sorry. It says, are you scared of being diagnosed with bipolar? I have bipolar and I have mixed emotions. Crystal Stultz. Um, I knew something was wrong. Everybody in my life knew something was wrong with me. I'm one of those guys that don't want to know that something's wrong. Like if I'm sick, I don't want to know. If God forbid I have cancer, I don't want to know. If I don't want to go to the hospital for anything, if I can put some Band-Aid on it or some tape on it, if I can just pour some bleach on it, and that could be it. That's how I am. So going to the facility, I knew I was going to be diagnosed with something. I knew I was going to get blood work done. I knew I was going to be put on medication. I knew there was going to be multiple doctors looking at me, and that's what I was, I guess, scared, anxious, excited. There was excitement in there because I'm finally going to find out what's wrong with me, and I don't have a choice. So they went in. I went in. I'll be honest. I was on Lexapro before I got in there. I was on Lexapro for about, I want to say, 6 weeks prior to the facility, and I did not see a change. I did not see anything. Nothing was happening. I went to the doctor there and I said, listen, I think I'm depressed. I'm on Lexapro. I've been on it for 6 weeks. I don't feel any different. And after being gone through so many different, seeing so many doctors, they were like, Jax, you are not depressed. You are bipolar. You are bipolar 2, I think it's called, number 2. There's 1 and 2. I'm the second one. And I was like, what does that mean? They're like, first of all, you're on the wrong medication. You're done with this medication. We're going to put you on something else. I'm not going to tell you guys what I'm on. I'm not on lithium. I know all of you guys have reached out to me about lithium. I am not on that. There's too many side effects on that stuff. I don't really want to tell everybody what I'm on, but I'm not on lithium. I am extremely happy with the medication that I'm on. I gotta say, since I've been on this medication, I've maybe gotten angry a couple times, but I know myself getting angry and I can pull back. And I can tell when, like, okay, I need it, or I need an anxiety pill. But for the most part, it's been a really, really, good, I guess, drug or medication that I've been on. It's been working a lot. In fact, I have to check in this week to see if I should up my dosage or not. And I may not. I'm going to talk it over with my doctor. But everything right now is going well. Answer your question. I'm happy that I'm being diagnosed with bipolar. I would like to be an advocate for it. I'd like to talk about it. I want to research it. I want to know everything I can possibly know about this disorder. It does run in my family. I don't want to say who has it in my family, but I do have family members that do have it, and I did not know it's. I don't know what the word I'm looking for. It's genetic. I did not know that. So, to answer your question, I'm not scared. I'm excited. I'm happy to finally know what is wrong with me. Do you want more kids in the future? That is a great question. I've been going back and forth with this, with some people. Actually, I was having this question the other day. And this is from at Key PON 67. I guess I can say this. I don't think I'm going to have any more kids. I don't think so. I think I just want to spend all my time and all my energy on my son Cruz. Um, I'm not sure what his future is going to be like. But I want to make sure that I can give him my full attention. And I just don't think it's fair to bring another child into this world and not give them equal amount of attention. And I love my son more than anything in this world. I'm going to tear up. Sorry. And we are trying to figure out right now what his next road is going to be like. So as of right now, and I think for the future, I think I'm done with kids. I'm 45 years old. Um, I'm at that window right now. As if you do it, you got to do it now. And yeah, I think we're going to just say no. I'm not going to have any more kids. And I guess this is the first time I've ever said this out loud. So yeah, to answer your question, no, I don't want any more kids. What's your favorite meal? My favorite meal. Well, I love going to this place called Craig's in West Hollywood with my team. We have so much fun when we go there. It's kind of like an annual thing when everybody's in town. It's kind of our spot to go. I just got turned on by a new place um, from my publicist, actually, John and Vinny's, and their pizza is absolutely amazing. Right now, though, I have to say, and this is not a plug by any means, I really enjoy these factor meals. I'm now alone. I'm by myself. I'm used to having a wife, cook three to four times a week for me. But now I'm by myself, and now I'm a lot busier now, and I really got turned on to these factor meals, and I love them. They're easy, and like I said, this is not a plug by any means because there's so many different food. There's so many different food services out there, but Factor's is my favorite meals, and they're healthy, and I'm on a health kick right now, so I'm sticking with Factor. My favorite. I'm sorry. So the question do you want? Oh, my favorite TV show. It's a toss. Well, I think everybody knows Friends is my favorite TV show, with The Office being a very close second. So thank you, Casey Lee, for that question. What's the biggest lesson you've learned from reality TV experience? Wow. I don't think clearly I've learned my lesson. I don't, to be honest. I think I learn lessons every season. I always go into filming these series. I always go in with my head held high, but I always make the dumbest mistakes. I'm a very shoot first, ask later kind of person. It gets me into a lot of trouble. My whole reality career has been the villain. I've been painted as the villain for a very long time, and I thought that's kind of what people wanted to see. So I continued that that person, and it's hurt me in so many ways. I mean, it's destroyed my marriage, it's destroyed my friendships, but I thought, what, that's kind of what the people wanted. I thought that's what everybody liked. So I just kept going with that persona. Anything else that I've learned I'm still learning this, but I'm trying to take a back seat. I'm trying not to be the number one guy in the group anymore. I think that guy he needs to retire. He needs to go away. I need to learn to take the back seat more in things. I need to humble myself a little bit more. I need to listen a little bit more. I need to not react as much as I do. Um, and I have a fear of not being, the main character. I have a huge fear of that. And again, these are things that I've never talked about before. So that fear, it drives me, the villain in me, because I feel like, well, maybe if I do this, or if I say this, that will just kind of create something that doesn't really need to be, but it will just keep me talked about. And that's just something that I've dealt with forever. And I'm trying so hard to cut back from that. So I guess, you know, those are lessons. I don't know if I've learned from them yet, but I'm really, really trying. Best advice for handling anxiety and depression. Uh, ask for help. Ask for help. Work out. Working out is a huge, huge thing. Being healthy, getting plenty of rest, talking to your friends, going on hikes, meditating. Meditating doesn't work for me, but it works for a lot of people. Uh, Going to the gym is mine. Right now, I'm on a huge gym kick. I have a huge addictive personality. I have a big addictive personality. And once I get on something, I don't quit it. And right now, the gym is my thing. It's my drug of choice. I love it. I'm going like twice a day right now. I'm like thrive on eating healthy and, you know, drinking my protein shakes and getting up early and going to the gym, coming home, taking a shower, and that's how I start my day. So that's how I'm dealing with my anxiety, along with some medication, of course. But yeah, that's the best thing for me is going to the gym and going for long walks too. How do you handle the hate and negativity online? Oh my God, that is a tough one. I have to remember when you get hate that I've always been told, when they stop talking about you, that's when you should worry. So when people are giving you hate online, these are people that do not know who you are. Most of them are sitting in their parents' basement. They don't have a picture. They got a few followers, and they're just looking to get a rise out of you. Because 99.9% of the time, these people that say the negative things, if they saw you out in public, they would be the first one to ask for a picture. They'll be the first one to ask for an autograph. They'll be the first one to ask you questions, the first one to buy you a drink. 99.9% of these people are those people. They just want to get a rise. They have no idea about our lives. They watch a snippet of us on TV. You have to understand, we film hours and hours and hours of TV, and you see, you're seeing 5 to 6 different couples, and you're only seeing, snippets of their lives. And normally it's yelling and screaming or arguing or, yeah, that's basically all you're seeing. You're not seeing the good. Because why? Because, well, the good is not, the boring stuff is not that interesting, right? People want to see the chaos. And unfortunately, that is what's shown, a lot of the times. But there is a lot of good times, and people will come at me and say certain things like, you don't know my life day to day. You don't see what we film. You just see what, they put on TV. And, that's just the way TV is. It's for every TV show is like that. It doesn't matter what TV show, scripted or non, that's what goes on TV, so that's how people judge you. Is it annoying? Yes, it's annoying. Do I dive into the comment section once in a while? Yeah, I do. I'll laugh at it, because again, these are people, a lot of people are jealous. They're insecure. They're dealing with their own demons, and they'll project how they feel onto us. So that's kind of how I deal with that. Many people online think you're a narcissist. Do you agree? I'm gonna be honest with this. Yes, I do agree. I've literally have just learned probably 5 new terms that I've never learned before that I do. And I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying this, but I do all of them, and I've done them all for years, and I had no idea. I breadcrumbing, or what is it called? Breadcrumbing. I am a narcissist. Yes. I love bomb. That's another one. Gaslighting. Um, I'm missing some, but I do all these things. And I had no idea there was terms for these things. And I was like, Jesus, I look up the definition for all these new terms. I'm like, oh my God, I do that. Oh my God, I do that. I do that too. I'm like, I don't even know how to talk anymore without being labeled as one of these things. So yes, I have to humble myself and say, do you think you're a narcissist? And I do. I don't know how I became one. I do believe I'm a narcissist. I am not a doctor, so I can't say that for sure. But by just looking up the definition, I have to agree. I have to agree with people calling me a narcissist. I can't fight them on that because I do have pretty much everything that's labeled under a narcissist. And I've been this person for years, and I had no idea. Again, these things, I was never held accountable for my actions for many, many, many years until recently, until people have had enough. People were tired of walking on eggshells around me. People were just said, enough's enough. This is what you're doing. This is how you're hurting. I know you don't see it because you never had any consequences, but this is the shit you've done, and this is the damage that you've caused. And these are the things that you're doing. So again, I know it's late in life to learn all these things about yourself, but I guess it's better late than never. But yes, to answer your question, I do believe I'm a narcissist. Yes. Have you ever considered moving out of LA away from the limelight? It would be a lot better for your mental health. Come to Canada. First of all, if I had $1 for every time someone said, come to Canada, I'd be a very rich man and I can retire. Second of all, I absolutely love Canada. I think I've been to I forget what you guys call them, provinces, or I can't remember, territories or whatever, but I've been to pretty much every major city in Canada. I'm about to go back to Toronto and my first time being in Winnipeg. I think after Winnipeg, I've literally hit them all. There's not one city in Canada, main city, that I haven't gone to. I absolutely love the people in Canada. I love the food, especially in Montreal. Montreal's got to be probably my favorite places for food. I don't know if anybody knows this, but Montreal has the best food I've ever eaten in my entire life. I just love the people. It's a different place there. I think people are just a lot happier than they are here in the States. I don't know. There's just something about Canada that just the people are just so great. I would love just to pick up and move there tomorrow, but obviously I can't. I have a son and I have a job. Would I move away from LA? I would love to move away from LA, but unfortunately my job is here. This is what I do. I do this for a living. It's a little late in life to start over. So, I own a restaurant. I have a podcast. I'm on a television show. I'm hoping to expand my restaurant. I'm hoping to expand the podcast. If I had a dream, if I could move anywhere tomorrow, it would probably be Florida, just because I love Florida. But as of right now, I don't see myself leaving LA. I've said it every year for the last 15 years, and I'm getting out of this place. I hate it. But this is where I live. And, now my son is here, and my ex-wife doesn't plan on leaving anytime soon, and I'm not going to leave my son. So unfortunately, I'm going to be stuck here for a while. uh, and a shout out to the Canadians out there. Luke A. Cole, 245. I will see you guys in Canada shortly. I'm coming to Toronto, Winnipeg. I can't wait. Back to Canada. Okay, what things have you been doing to prioritize your mental health? Well, I just kind of answered that lastly, and this is from Mel Reneed. Prioritizing, I'm working out a lot. I'm a lot healthier than I used to be. I've cut back on my drinking significantly. I'm the gym. The gym is my new drug right now. This is going to sound, I don't know how this is going to sound, but I just love getting up in the morning. And I love looking at myself in the mirror right now. And I love the way I look. I really, really do. I feel like I look healthy. I sound healthy. I have structure in my life right now. I force myself to, get up at 7:45. I force myself to make my cup of coffee, check my emails, go to the gym, come home, take a shower. And then, I find out what my schedule's like with Cruz, what my schedule's like at Jax's the bar. Do I have to go in? What's my schedule like for filming my TV show? I keep saying my TV show. It's everybody's TV show. What's it like for, doing my podcast and things like that. So I keep myself very, very busy, because the problem is when I sit still, that's when my mind starts to go. And that's when I start living in between my ears. And that's the problem. So that's what I do to prioritize. Craziest or funniest encounter with a fan? This is going to sound a little graphic, but women have made me sign their chests before. I think the craziest encounter with a fan, and this is God's honest, this has actually happened twice. A husband and a wife came up to me and said, "Would you be interested in coming back with us? We have a plane. We'll take you back to where we live." One of them was in Charlotte. "And would you partake in I guess the best way to say this, relations, with my wife while I watch?" And this was the husband saying this. And this has happened to me twice. And I have to say that is probably the oddest thing that's ever happened to me. Yeah, yeah. I've also had someone ask me if they could have my sperm to make a child. I don't know if I'm saying this right, but they needed my stuff to make a child, and they would pay me and my girlfriend at the time to do this. That was a pretty odd one as well. So those are the two oddest things I've had. Okay. Favorite menu items at Jax's? Well, we got to say Mama's beer cheese. That is delicious. I love the black and white shrimp. Um, I also love the chicken parm. My partners are from New York and Jersey, so we got great Italian food. The pizza is by far some of the best pizza I've ever had in my life. The way it's served, and it's thin crust, and it's crispy, and it's cheesy. The French fries with the spicy aioli sauce are absolutely amazing. And of course, you can't go wrong with the burgers. And even the salads are great. The salads are great too. And believe it or not, we have great mussels and clams. So a little bit of everything, but my favorite, I would have to say, top thing besides the wings are the black and white shrimp. Absolutely amazing. All right. How is Cruz doing? What's your favorite thing to do with him? Cruz is doing great. He's getting, growing like a weed every single day. The kid gets cuter and cuter by the minute. Every day, Brittany is sending me pictures of him and being like, "Look at him today. Look at him now." And like, she's styling his hair different, or he's got a new outfit, and he's in school, and he's laughing. And the kid is the happiest kid I've ever seen in my life. He's just a doll, and he's so smart. He's so, witty, and he's cute, and he's just so lovable, and he's just got so much love, and he gets it all from his mama. He's just like his mom in that he's just a very lovable, cute, sweet little boy. And thank God he didn't get any shit from me. And he looks just like his mom too, I think. Some people say he looks like me, but I think he looks just like his mom. So, I love taking him to the park. I love taking him to Sky Zone. He is an amazing swimmer. I mean, I can't get over how well he swims. As a 3.5-year-old, he's diving down at the bottom of the deep end of the pool, picking up things. He's jumping in, doing somersaults. He's just an amazing little boy. And that's why I don't think I can have another child, just because I love him so much that I don't think I could give myself to anybody else or give attention to anybody else. Who's the first phone call of the day? Who do you speak to most on the phone every day? I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not, but I would have to say I speak to my manager, Ryan, and probably my publicist, Lori, the most. And I think that goes with anybody who's in the business that I'm in. Other than checking on crews, I think that everybody kind of checks in with their team. And my team, I have a great team. Ryan, who everybody knows, Lori, who everybody knows. And I feel like I take up a lot of their time. And I feel like they do amazing, amazing things for me. I don't deserve them. They don't get paid enough. They don't, I probably put them through so much stress. But yeah, those are the people that I talk to the most. And if they're listening to this, they will agree. As you navigate your mental health journey, what can your fans do to help you support you? Just be patient. I would just really like to be patient. This season is going to be rough. It's probably, I have to say, in all the years of reality TV, this will be the toughest season of my life for multiple different reasons. My mental health, my marriage, my friendships. There's just so much that has gone on in my life the past 8 months to a year. I'm going through a lot. I'm not saying anybody else is, but I personally am going through a lot that I'm trying to manage. I'm trying to, deal with my mental health. I'm trying to deal with my divorce. I'm trying to deal with my son. I'm trying to deal with my businesses. I'm trying to deal with living in this crazy world, that fucked up world that we live in. I'm trying to deal with a lot of things like everybody else, but my life just so happens to be on TV. So I'm asking you, please, and I beg you, please realize that I am doing well now. I am getting better, that it's a long, long road. But just please be patient, because I know the beginning is going to be a little rough to watch. And I appreciate everybody. I really, really do. I appreciate all the comments. So many people have reached out to me that are dealing with what I'm dealing with. And that's kind of why I want to do another podcast that talks about mental health, and a little bit extra on men's mental health, because I feel like men's mental health is not talked about enough. And I feel like it makes me feel good. I get something out of this too. It makes me feel good talking about it. So again, to get back to this question, I appreciate all your guys' patience. I thank you for all the messages. That being said, I think we're going to wrap it up for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I really, really love doing these questions. I feel like I answer a lot of questions that people have. I really, really appreciate it. It makes me feel good. It's kind of a form of therapy to me. So we'll wrap it up here. Everyone have a great, great rest of the week. Thank you all for listening to When Reality Hits with Jax and Brittany, and we'll see you next week.